Hey, this is Mike Matthews from Muscle for Life and Legion Athletics, and in this video podcast, we're going to talk carbohydrate, how to determine how many carbs you should be eating. And I have good news in that you probably should be eating a lot more carbs than many people are telling you, which means that you probably should be eating a lot of the foods that you actually like to eat. And the reason for this is simple. Unless you are very overweight and completely sedentary, your body can do a lot of good things with carbs. Carbs serve your body well, whether you are wanting to gain muscle or lose fat or do them at the same time if that's possible for you. Of course, if you are new to weightlifting, you can recomp, you can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. And again, regardless of what you're trying to do, if you're trying to improve your body composition, carbs are your friend, not your enemy. Now, I know that's kind of counterintuitive or even controversial to say these days because so many mainstream so-called gurus and experts have pretty much singled out carbohydrate as public enemy number one. You know, they're saying that carbohydrate is the reason why so many people are so fat and sick. And if we were just to completely get rid of this macronutrient, the world would be a better place. And that is completely not true. They are missing the forest for the trees. They are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. They are oversimplifying something to make it more palatable to people, to make it more marketable, to be able to tell people that it's not their fault. It's just this evil boogeyman called the carbohydrate. Now, I don't want to get into all the specifics in this video because I don't want it to go on for 30 minutes, but first you should know that no, insulin does not make you fat. Yes, it triggers fat storage, but it does not make you fat. Overeating makes you fat. Now, if you want to learn more about that, click on the link up there to check out an article I wrote on it. So the second thing you should know is that so long as protein and caloric intakes are equated, low-carb diets do not result in more fat loss than high-carb diets. This has been shown in a number of clinical trials, and at this point, the weight of the evidence is clear. There really shouldn't even be an argument about this anymore. What I mean by that is if you take two people and you have them eat the same amount of calories and the same amount of protein and burn more or less the same amount of calories, they will lose more or less the same amount of fat over time. Of course, they're not going to lose the exact same amount of fat. One of them might lose a little bit more, but it's not going to be statistically significant. Now, if you want to learn more about that, if that is news to you, or if you don't agree, or you want to see the science behind my statements, click the link that is up there and you can read all about it in an article on low carb dieting that I wrote. Okay, so how many carbs should you be eating? Let's get to the point here. So if you're trying to gain muscle and strength as quickly as possible, then you really want to be eating as much carbohydrate as you can for a few reasons. One, a high carb diet results in higher glycogen levels in your body. Glycogen is a form of carbohydrate stored primarily in your muscles and liver. And the more glycogen you have in your body, the better you're going to be able to perform in your workouts, the better you're going to be able to recover from your workouts. And those two things alone, of course, result in more progress over time. Another reason why high carb dieting is more conducive to muscle and strength gain is it results in generally higher insulin levels. Insulin is a hormone that shuttles nutrients from your blood into your cells. And research shows that while it isn't anabolic like testosterone, it does have strong anti-catabolic properties, which means that it helps reduce muscle breakdown rates. And at the end of the day, muscle gain, of course, is muscle protein synthesis rates exceeding muscle protein breakdown rates over time. So anything that you can do to raise synthesis rates or reduce breakdown rates can contribute to muscle gain. Yet another reason is research shows that low carbohydrate dieting combined with a lot of intense exercise results in generally higher cortisol levels. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone. It's a catabolic hormone, and it has an inverse relationship with testosterone. So as cortisol levels go up, testosterone levels generally go down. And of course, high cortisol and low testosterone is the exact opposite of what you want for gaining muscle and strength. And all this is why several studies have shown that high carb diets are just better for gaining muscle and strength. For example, one study conducted by researchers at the University of Rhode Island had two groups of people, one group eating about 226 grams of carbs per day, and the other eating about 353 grams of carbs per day. And at the end of the study, what the researchers found is that the higher carb group gained more strength, recovered faster from their workouts, and showed higher levels of muscle protein synthesis. Another study worth looking at was conducted by researchers at McMaster University, and they were comparing low carb to high carb dieting with daily leg workouts. And what they found is that the people on the low carb diet experienced higher rates of protein breakdown and lower rates of protein synthesis, resulting in less overall muscle growth than the higher carb group. So how many carbs should you be eating to gain muscle and strength as quickly as possible? Well, I recommend that you start with about 2 grams of carbs per pound of body weight per day. And if you need to increase your calories over time to continue gaining muscle and weight, which you probably will if you're relatively lean and you're looking to lean bulk for an extended period of time, then I recommend you focus on increasing your carbs as high as possible. Now, of course, there is a point where it's just not feasible to eat any more carbs, or it becomes almost painful. For me, that's around 500 or 600 grams a day. Trying to eat more makes me sick, at which point then I will usually start increasing my protein instead if I need to continue increasing calories. But I recommend that you increase your carbs first. Work your carbs up to the point where you no longer can anymore. And if you need to continue increasing your calories, then start increasing your protein intake. Okay, so now how many carbs should you be eating when you want to lose fat? Now, we already talked about why you shouldn't be restricting your carbs to lose fat, because it's not going to do anything for you. So long as you are restricting your calories and eating enough protein, how many carbs you eat is not going to impact how much fat you lose. However, it is going to impact your workouts, it's going to impact your body composition, it's going to impact your mood. And the long story short is most people just do better with more carbs, not less, when they're cutting, which is why I recommend you set your carbs like this. So first, you want to calculate how many calories that you are going to be eating. Then you want to set your protein intake to around 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. If you are lean, looking to get really lean, I recommend you go a bit higher, 1.2 grams per pound of body weight per day. I recommend that you set your fats around 0.2 to 0.25 grams per day, and that you get the rest of your calories from carbs. And to calculate that, you just need to know that 1 gram of protein contains about 4 calories. I know it's a little bit less, but whatever. Functionally speaking, 4 is fine. 1 gram of fat contains about 9 calories, and 1 gram of carbohydrate contains about 4 calories. So then all you have to do, of course, is take your total calories, set your protein, calculate the calories, subtract it out, set your fat, subtract that out, take the calories you have left, divide it by 4, and voila, you have your carbs in grams per day. Now, if you don't want to do the math, or if it doesn't quite make sense to you, just click the link up here to be taken to an article that has a handy dandy calculator that will just do it for you. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope I kept it short. I tried to. I'm trying to go for 5 minutes. It seems like people like 5 minutes. So there's my challenge, 5-minute videos. Anyways, hope you liked it. If you did, please do give it a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and share your experiences with high carb dieting, low carb dieting, fat loss, anything that you think other people should know, anything helpful, please do share in the comments below. And of course, if you want to know when my next video goes live, then just click the red subscribe button over there. It's free. Click the bell next to it, and YouTube will shoot you a notification when I upload the next video. That's it for now, and I will see you in the next video.